It's the trying. That's the fun part.
Very cool. I just hit the record button, so I'm recording this now.
Okay. Swearing? No swearing?
It's up to you, man.
Okay.
It's up to you. So, well, anyway, thanks for your time tonight, and I appreciate this time. To further the conversation we were having, I published a music magazine for about 28 years, and was never a graphic designer when I started that. But through osmosis and through the years, I kind of picked that up, and so now that's what I do as a vocation, which is kind of fun.
Right on. That's awesome. That's cool. You can turn that into something you wouldn't think that would be your full time. That becomes your full time.
Yeah. Thank goodness I got a full time nowadays.
I know. Yeah, I feel that. I've been working this thing. It just kind of happened through music, through production. Working with a buddy of mine with his production company, and now I'm the lead level designer for the fitness Peloton game Cleanbreak.
Oh, nice.
So I've been doing that. That's fun. Cleanbreak, and then Cleanbreak, and then everything else. It's quite a lot.
There you go.
A lot.
Those are probably some full size graphics too.
Yeah, well, it's not even graphics. It's interesting. It's MIDI authoring, so it's MIDI design. It's designing in Pro Tools with MIDI and creating levels that way. It's kind of like I look at it like a player piano. The piano itself, then you put the scrolls into it. The piano has the machine capabilities to, read the scroll and thus tells the keys which notes to hit. So that's basically that's where I come in, baby. Yeah.
Nice. Well, what are your memories of music school, American Idol, singing for Quiet Riot?
Oh, tenfold. A whole lot. Music school was a music it's a music school. That's how it's spelled. Music's cool. It's a music school. Yes. I still play with those guys, actually. My teacher, mentor, growing up, Dale Ackerman. I'm doing a show with him this weekend. He has a group called the White Album Ensemble, and they perform all Beatles songs, full band, not just four guys, with mop tops and suits. It's more about the audio experience. So it's after the Beatles stopped touring. And Friday and Saturday nights, we're doing Rubber Soul and Revolver in their entirety, as well as the singles around those, like Day Tripper, We Can Work It Out, Yesterday. And then we're also doing some crowd pleasers at the end with, what do we got? We got Rain. We're doing Tomorrow Never Knows, of course, with string section, horn section. That forgot to get you into my life. It's very cool, very fun experience. I grew up going to see these guys, and so I'm actually stepping in to do a full show this time. It's quite the undertaking. I've had rehearsals today, yesterday, tomorrow, and then the show's Friday and Saturday. That was a amazing experience for music school. American Idol, gosh, there's tons. I'm constantly reminded by it. I have me and my Idol season 10 alumni, our tour picture right here behind me, and a doll somebody made of me while I was after I was on Idol, just creepy, but awesome. And then also a crocheted doll of me somebody gave me somewhere. American Idol's probably the reason I'm here. American Idol's probably the reason I have a home studio and have been a full-time musician for the last 11 years. Even now with a full time, it's all music, so it's still creating in the music sphere. So it's and that coupled with everything else I'm constantly doing, Durbin, Cleanbreak, all the other bands and artists I work with, and everything. So it's constantly stuff going on, and then being a husband and having a wife and 3 kids and a puppy and 3 chickens and 2 cats and 2 fish. It's bonkers around here, but I managed to make it work. And then Quiet Riot for 2.5 years, 2 studio albums, 1 live album, and another chapter in the book.
Nice. You got the creative juices flowing, man. That's really cool. Cool to see.
I got no choice. They're not all necessarily creative juices, but just having the mental fortitude to be able to handle it all.
Yeah.
Because with the White Album stuff, of course, it's just learning Beatles and cover bands and that sort of thing. And then so it's when you get down to it with Durbin and Cleanbreak, because that's where the creativity gets to let loose.
Nice. What are your thoughts on and memories of the Beast Awakens album?
I am still like on the, I don't know, like I'm still on the shores of it. I haven't left that island yet. The pandemic hit. I was gonna do co-writes with different songwriters, and before the pandemic, and then that put a nail in that coffin, and I was left to write it myself, and I took that challenge, and I loved every bit of it, thinking back on it. But it was stressful. It was very, very stressful. Like writing a concept album. Like I thought, like, oh, it'd be easy. I'll just write a concept album. Sure, it's easy. I'll just write some songs and string them together, and there's the concept. But I started to feel attachment to the characters and the themes and the ideas that I was creating, and I cried when I contemplated killing the character, like killing the Prince of Metal, but he has to die so that he's resurrected by the riders on the wind to come back. And when he comes back resurrected, he's the king. It's the only way he could become king. So when I did that, I cried. And then I cried when, that song where that happens ended up being used as the bonus track for the Japanese release instead of being tacked on to the end of Battle Cry, like it originally was, like a 8-minute epic called Battle Cry / Return Me to the One. But, all great memories of that. I'm doing my first Durbin show coming up. I just announced August 26th. In San Francisco at Bottom of the Hill with Nerd Halen and Enough's Enough. And very happy to finally get Durbin out on a stage and just, have it finally be realized in true form and hear what it sounds like. And because I've been working on Durbin 2 and collecting song ideas and just trying to find the feel of it, the theme, and where that goes. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm very glad I did it. I'm very glad that I'm still in it.
Cool. What led to putting this band together?
When I signed with Frontiers in December of 2019, the plan all along, my plans have come together. The plan was to do a solo album, which ended up being Durbin, the Beast Awakens, and then the plan followed to do a super group. And pretty quickly, Perry Richardson and Robert Sweet were both involved, both from Stryper, both on Frontiers as well, with Stryper. And then like a month or so later, we got Mike Flintz from Riot 5, not on Frontiers, but very just Mike was that missing piece. I was just kind of like the lone wolf, and then you got Robert and Perry from Stryper, and then we needed another lone wolf, and it worked. Putting everything together and getting all the songs from all the different songwriters that contributed, and throwing a couple of my own songs in there. It's just very, very beautiful and humbling to see it all come together and sound like it was one, just one thing. But there were many hands at work here, and many artists and magicians.
So how did you meet Mike Flintz, and what were your first interactions as songwriters like?
Funnily enough, we didn't meet until the album was in person. We didn't meet in person until the album was already mastered, and we were in LA, all of us, to film our music videos. Pause for cough. Not COVID. Just a tickle. It's 3 hours of interviews gets you.
Yeah.
And a protein bar and a bottle of water. We didn't collaborate on any songs, surprisingly. The two of us. Yeah, he collaborated, I believe, with Alessandro DelVecchio, who produced the album and wrote a bunch of the songs, and played pianos and keyboards and stuff on it, and backup vocals. A lot of the backup vocals were already done for the demos, and I was like, they sound killer. Well, I don't want to re-sing all those, and it sounds cool that it's like he's the fifth member of the band in a way. He's the fifth member of a lot of bands on records. But yeah, I same with Perry and Robert. I met them once in Milan, Italy, when I was there with Quiet Riot, and we were doing the One Night in Milan, a live album there, and that was Perry's first show with Stryper.
Wow.
It's funny, I've been in two different instances of someone's first show with a band. Perry Richardson's first show in Stryper, and Richie Faulkner's first show with Judas Priest was with me on American Idol.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who made the decision and why to hire both Perry and Robert from Stryper?
Well, that was Frontiers. I mean, I approved it. Both, not necessarily like a real reason that I'm aware of. But when you have that much of a powerhouse rhythm section that is known for being tight, and just if you don't believe me, just listen to any of the latest Stryper material that's come out since Perry's been in the band. It's just so tight and heavy, and it just punches. And there was no reason. It's kind of like, ask the question, why not? Why not? Is there a reason to not have both of them? And none of us could think of any reasons not to.
You added the rhythm section. Sounds like a genius decision.
Yeah, I wish I had been the one to make the call and take all the credit for it, but it's probably a Serafino or all of them. Mario Deriso.
What is your favorite song that you've ever written, and why?
The song, I don't know if it's a favorite I've ever written, but it could be. It's a song from my Americana kind of acoustic album, Homeland, James Durbin record. And it's called She Looks at Me. And when I wrote it, I was like, this is my magnum opus. I couldn't stop saying that. And I was like crying, like I'd written the greatest thing I'll ever write, and nothing will ever top it. And then, it's all like, like now I'm like, yeah, well, that's a beautiful song. Ed Sheeran should have recorded it. Then I'd be really raking in the money.
Yes.
But raking in the pennies from streams, the thousandths of pennies from streams. But yeah, I think She Looks at Me is probably, it's just different. I don't know. It's there's different genres, and there's things hit differently. So if like you're really into that kind of thing, then I think that it'd be like a great, I don't know, I think it'd be great in a movie. I think it'd be great for a placement. Yeah.
Nice. Here's hoping.
We'll go with that. Yeah. Huh.
What was it like riding with Alessandro DelVecchio?
It was great. Ale makes it super easy, and I've done co-writes before, and especially when someone provides me with the instrumental of the music already recorded as a full song, and then I write lyrics and melody to it. That's how I did my songs that I wrote for both Quiet Riot studio albums and all the stuff that I did with Alex Grassi before that, with Hollywood Scars. And yeah, it's I don't know, Ali just makes things really easy. But we only really collaboradoodled. We collaboradoodled on one song, which was Dream Forever. And that's I thought it was just the two of us, but there was another songwriter had a hand in it as well. So it's a three-way split on that one. And then I wrote 100% of Before the Fall and Cleanbreak.
Nice. How do you feel about the lyrics of the band Stryper?
I love them. They're great. I mean, I was raised Christian and still live a faith-based existence. It's more in the spiritual sense these days rather than the biblical sense, but it definitely resonates with me. And I love that there's still, because I love Dio and I love Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, and just found this band called Lucifer's Friend, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
it's so good. And it's not,
are they still around?
It's like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I found the video for Ride the Sky, and then found the albums on Apple Music, and just been listening to those a lot. It's just like really, 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 really good. But back to Stryper's, like I like that there's still like they don't ignore the how do I say this? They don't like ignore the depictions of evil. They're still singing about it. It's still present in the lyrics, but it's always conquered. It's like how the light will conquer the darkness, and I really do love that. And I mean, they keep writing songs, they keep making albums, and they keep getting better and better and better. And so it's that's where like the power lies. It's gotten them here, and it continues to get them everywhere they're going with it. So it's definitely inspiring, because I like to put that in my songs as well. Like on Durbin, The Beast Awakens, it was, even with the title track, The Beast Awakens, demons drawing nearer, is your life forsaken, time to face your fears, for the beast awakens, breaking through the night, vengeance for the taking, light will still appear when the beast awakens. So there's still hope. Even though darkness is falling all around and everything seems like it's going to hell in a handbasket, there's still light. There's still positive outlook. You can still find goodness in the deepest troubled waters.
Very cool. What do you think about Jesus Christ?
Jesus is just all right with me.
Little Doobie Brothers. What do you think of his claims to be, quote, the way, the truth, and the life? No one comes to the Father but by me, end quote.
I don't know. I mean, religion is based in faith, and faith is based in belief, and belief that I just believe. I believe because I believe. I believe because I feel it. I believe because I know it and I felt it. And the thing, I don't know. I don't believe that anything is definitely correct and definitely right, and there's only one, and there's only this and only that, and this is the only religion, because there's so many religions, there's so many belief systems, there's so many all throughout the world, and in like small villages and that haven't had any like experience with the outside modern world, then they have their own belief systems and things. So like it's I don't know, like if you're living positively and just being a good human being to other human beings, and if Jesus's teachings inspire you to do that, then that's beautiful. If it's Buddha's, beautiful. If it's Gandhi's, beautiful. If it's Krishna's, beautiful. What's what was Bob Marley say? Rastafari, ever living, ever faithful, ever sure is the last, yeah, the first. Yeah, Jah. If it's Jah, if it's Allah, if it's wherever you find your peace, your inner like calm, and I feel like that's what's right. I'm not sure if. I mean, I like to write songs about magic and mysticism and magic and resurrection, and there's the stories that I heard when I was a kid definitely come into play in that. But I'm not. I just haven't had the experience with Jesus that and Jesus people that resonated with me more than God and godly, but separating the two, as I don't know if I can go Star Wars enough to fully believe and commit to Father, Son, Holy Spirit all together, all in one, all encompassing. But I feel like God is ever present in everything, and if I go forth with good faith and trust in God, and God as the power, as the force, as the thing that unites and brings all things together, then I feel like that's where I put most of my faith in that. And so if by I don't know, a byproduct of that is that Jesus is God, and it turns out that's everything that it is, I still put my belief into it, into all of it. But yeah, not just Jesus. I don't know. Maybe my mom had too many pictures of Jesus like whispering into a door, or something growing up.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I kind of find humor in it, but she kind of maybe was a little too pushy with it. But I not defected, but I stopped going to church for a while just because of how somebody at our home church treated me in a situation where I won't go into it, but yeah, it kind of wrecked me for a while, and it still has kind of had a lasting, I don't know, a lasting thing going on with it. But yeah, I didn't like the Rolling Stones for a long time, and then I came around. So I don't know. It's life, It's
Yeah.
like I said, going forward and being a good person and a good person to other people and doing good things, and I don't try to throw bad things out and all that. I just try and be good and positive and humble, and yeah, and seek to earn wisdom. That's it. I don't monetary stuff, rewards, awards. It's all physical things. Wisdom is spiritual, mental, and you can only get it by failing and believing that you will rise above it.
Well, thanks for that. It's always great to get more positivity out in the music world.
Definitely.
Metal.
Yeah, especially in metal. Like, I'll sing about the devil, but yeah, I'm not a devil worshiper. I bought a Hellfire Club shirt from for Stranger Things season 4.
Yeah,
but it's only to wear at the gym. My wife hates it, but I like it. It's I don't know. It's those kind of like growing up a good Christian boy and like listening to Judas Priest and like having Rob Halford's phone number is like the ultimate. It's the ultimate thing, and then a Hellfire Club shirt, all of it. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I think I saw that Instagram or that meme. What is your method or secret of memorizing lyrics?
Just repetition. Like you find the rhythm of things. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just repetition, doing it, singing it, reading the lyrics while you listen to the song. And yeah, I've just been doing it for so long, and it started in theater. Growing up, I did a lot of musical theater, and so having to memorize those songs and the rhythm and the cadence of them, and a lot of them have, you know, a spoken kind of a, um, I don't know, like a approach to them. Like think of Sinatra, like he would read his lyrics, and he'd read these lyrics as if he was having a conversation with somebody, and then he brought, you know, the musical score to it. Um, so it's kind of, you know, kind of doing that sort of a thing, but yeah, it's all repetition.
What do you focus on during a live performance, and why and how does this work for you?
Um, well, if I know if I know the music, if I know the songs and stuff, I'm just focused on having a good time and just entertaining myself. Because if I'm entertained, then, you know, people pick up on if you're having a good time. People can tell if you're miserable. I've gotten live show reviews where people are like, he just looked like he was miserable the whole time. And yep, spot on. Time to throw some colorful clothes into my mix and and smile a little bit, even if it's forced. A big old Cheshire grin. And yeah, but yeah, it's usually just focused on having a good time, making myself laugh, making the guys I'm playing with laugh, and you know, do something that sticks with the audience so that they remember the, like, dude, that thing that he did, or like that song that he sang, and that part that he hit in it, that run he did up to that, you know, high note and soul feeling dynamic. Yeah, just fun, just fun. I figured out long ago, not that long ago, but long ago, that if you are a musician, you're self-employed, like you can do whatever you want. You know, if you're doing something and you're not having fun with it, don't do it. You can quit. You can quit and do something else. It's totally fine. You know, it's you should be able to enjoy yourself. You can have your cake and eat it too. What's the point of having cake if you can't eat it?
Exactly.
You know, unless it's like a squishy. But even then, like, that's stupid. I don't want to cake squishy. I want to eat cake. I want to tease myself. This fake cake right here, and just being like, well, I got to squeeze it like a stress ball. A cake stress ball? No, I want to like, I want to stress eat. I want to eat the stress. And that's why I have problems.
If you had to put into words what the musical style of heavy metal means to you, what would you say?
Ooh. I identify with heavy metal. I identify with music in general, but there's something about heavy metal that just makes me happy, makes me very happy. And just when it's something, a kind of heavy metal or a certain song or brand or a band or a subgenre of it that just does something to me, like thematic new wave British heavy metal, like theatrical heavy metal, and then like that blues based straight to it Judas Priest, you know, like when I first heard Judas Priest's Sad Wings of Destiny album,
Oh yeah.
it was while I was writing Durbin the Beast Awakens, and I smoked a joint and I took a walk on the beach, and put that album on, and top to bottom. And as I was coming back, walking back to the car after a long walk, all the way down and all the way back, Epitaph came on, and I hadn't heard Epitaph before, and just the lyrics and the fact that it's a ballad, but it's by Judas Priest. It sounds like it's could be off of Carole King's Tapestry. You know, it's like, and like, you know, with like a feature by the Beach Boys. Like, it's just those harmonies are just beautiful, and there's
Yeah.
like, there's a gravitas to it, and the lyrics are just really introspective and just really like mind opening. And then how it fades out, and you and you and you, and he does that, you know, that whole thing at the end, little Patti LaBelle, and then it fades out, and then it goes right into the next song. You get digga 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 digga. Beware of the coming! Dun 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 dun. Take heed, our time is near. Dun 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 dun. Eternity relinquished not. It's just like, it's like, I feel like I need like a stein full of ale, and I need to be like, yes, and I've got my studded gauntlet on, and you know, we're just gonna go like grab clubs and just like knock trees down or something. I don't know. It's like, it's just, I feel like I'm in a different time. I'm in a different world. It's all fantasy and just in like my subconscious. And I love that about heavy metal. I love how it's not, I don't know, it's its own subculture also. It feels, especially with how I grew up, like it feels counter cultured to how I was raised. And yeah, when I got some of my own, you know, when my mom gave me some rope, you know, when she relinquished some of my umbilical cord, my voice was changing, and I wanted my voice to stay high, and I found heavy metal, and I started, and YouTube had just kind of like happened, and we had just upgraded from dial-up internet and to high-speed Wi-Fi, and I'd sit at the computer and just ingest heavy metal for hours and hours and find things that I loved. And when I found those things that I loved, I would practice them. I'd listen to them. I'd have the lyrics in one window and then the video playing and blasting, and I'd sing along with the singers, and I'd try and match their tone. I'd try and match their notes. I'd try and figure out how they get to those notes. Some of them just hit it. Some of them slide up to it. Some of them slide off of it. Some just fall off of it. And just like picking apart different bands and different singers, and finding what really resonated for me. And that was such a part of my maturation of my music. And I found a band. I did a musical theater production of Grease when I was like 16, and the drummer in the pit band was like, dude, you're a great singer. You want to come sing with my metal band, Leviathan? I was like, yeah, totally. And I went and sang for Leviathan, and started writing songs and doing that. And it was such a great experience. And I still have, you know, I still draw inspiration from that time. And yeah, just heavy metal, man. Heavy metal. That's it. I can just go on and on and on.
I can relate. One thing I love about like Judas Priest is the Sad Wings of Destiny album was what, 74, 75, or 76?
76, like, yeah.
Mid-70s heavy metal is so good.
Yeah, because it wasn't like, it was heavy thematically, it was heavy lyrically, it was heavy melodically. But it wasn't like, production wise, it wasn't super heavy. Like you listen to Victim of Changes, like, you know, Unleashed in the East and Beyond, it's really heavy and fast and in your face. And you listen to it on, you know, the original on Sad Wings, and it's so, it's slow, it's raw, it's a blues song, Whiskey Woman, you know, it's like, it's you know, KK Downing's and Glenn Tipton are just playing so slow compared to what they would end up playing it as, you know. But it's like, I really love it, because I had already been singing Sad Wings based off of the you know, live Unleashed in the East version. Had done it with a jam night thing for a benefit show in Nashville a number of years ago, and it was so much fun, and I fell in love with that song. And then to hear where it came from and how it started, it's just like, what? That's bonkers. It's so cool. and just the whole flow of that album, Into the Ripper, and then then the last two, and Epitaph going into Island of Domination, and just like it just takes you on a journey, and that's kind of what I styled the Beast Awakens album off of. Like
Nice.
It takes you on this audio journey.
Well, James, man, I appreciate your time and thank you for this interview.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I've run through my questions. Is there anything you want to talk about that I did not bring up?
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel positive.
Me too, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate conversations like this, bro.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, they're not, some of them are just straight at it. And, I like when it veers off and it takes unexpected turns and makes me think about things and really choose my words carefully. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable to use my brain in ways I don't.
Yeah, it's a real short to do about 4 or 5 back-to-back interviews. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was 5. My one before this no-showed, so I did get a little break, but yeah.
I was glad I was able to catch you early.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Hope to meet you someday. And,
definitely.
Tell Perry and Robert I said hello. They're old friends of mine.
Awesome. I will.
Actually, I've never met Perry. I take that back. But I've known Robert for like 40 years.
I'll tell Perry, his old friend Doug Van Pelt.
Yeah.
Says hi. Yeah.
Great.
Mike too. Yeah.
I'll appreciate that.
Yeah. People do that to me all the time. It's like, oh, do you remember Greg von Zonnewijk? I'm like, who? And they're like, oh, you went to high school with him. He said he was like your really good friend. I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah. Tell him hi.
Yeah.
I know who my friends were. Greg Van Wanglepeck.
Yeah.
All right. Well, right on. I appreciate your time and great questions and all. Thanks for a great interview. I won't forget it.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. Talk soon.
Take care.